Thank you very much for your time. We will move on to the demonstration of the box, and I will take about another 5 or 6 minutes to take you through the demo and demonstrate that how easy it is to kind of manage the storage. I will go through a quick demo for the XIV user interface. You'll realize that this is one of the best user interfaces and simple to manage. As soon as you log into a Java-based tool, you have to give credentials from basically what you want to do. An admin can do everything. He can go create runs, all kinds of stuff. There are different kinds of administrator permissions. We'll go and look at it while we are doing the demo. You can manage multiple XIV boxes on a single screen. You will see all the boxes connected on this network. Today, I'm going to be connected to the Solution Center box in Bangalore in our office. Now, once you click on it, the focus will become the XIV now, which all the commands and anything you execute is going to be run on this XIV. If you want to go back and look at all the systems, you can just click on it and go back and look at all the systems and pick the other systems you want to run any commands on. So I'm going to go through the initial screen. Has about 5 different parts. The most important part is the bottom of the screen where it gives you a current status. Full redundancy means that 2 copies of data is available on the system. You can actually see that there is a red component here that there's a drive failure, but it still says full redundancy because it has already generated the second copy of the box. Probably we've run this demo for a customer last evening, and they failed a drive to demonstrate the drive rebuild capability. IOPS, the number of IOPS that's running today, we're just running some test packet generator, so we're seeing some 26,000 IOPS on the box. It also gives you an idea of what is the amount of storage that's being used and available. It gives you both the hard capacity and the soft capacity on the screen. The second part of the screen is the box itself. As you would have seen, you bring the mouse or any component, it will give you the status of the component. This is basically a UPS. There are 3 UPSs in the box for a graceful shutdown if you lose power. 2N+1 kind of a technology. There are 15 modules, as you can see. Each module has 12 drives. You can click on the module and it will tell you all the components running in the module are okay. What is the status of the component? You can go on the drive and you'll see that if this is module disk 1 in this module and it looks okay. Once you click on it, it goes back and you can go and look at any status of any of the components in the box. You can click on this arrow and it will actually take you through the ports available on the system, and it will give you the worldwide 24 ST ports and the characteristics and the worldwide number and etc. on the ports. These are the 24 fiber channel ports. 6 iSCSI ports. We have not connected any of them. That's why it's yellow. 3 management ports. The one in gray is what I'm using to do the management of the box. 2 VPN ports for remote connectivity to do troubleshooting for our engineers to get into the box, and 2 laptop ports for engineers to install the box and things like that. The top of the screen is basically, these 3 are kind of a menu based. Whatever option you have chosen, this thing will change accordingly. Is basically, these 3 are kind of a menu based. Whatever option you have chosen, this thing will change accordingly. This part of the screen is equivalent to the icons on the left. It basically takes you through different options and creation LUNs and management and things like that, which we're going to go and look at in a second. I just want to tell you that a equivalent CLI is available. You can just click on it. Now this logs into the box in a command line interface, and you can run all your commands from here, saying wall list. You can click on a tab and tell you what are the options available. So this kind of tells you, gives you all the features on the user interface is available on the command line as well, and we will come back to this. I will just take you through the most important activity you do in a management, basically create a LUN and allocate a LUN. And I want to show that in the sequence how long it takes. We have a concept of a storage pool. You can create a storage pool based on the amount of storage required for your CRM application, SAP, things like that, or departments, based on finance and accounting and development and stuff. So pool is in the logical entity in the box. It has nothing to do with the LUNs allocated. I'm going to create a pool called demo for the purpose of this. A pool size, I'm going to use the pool size of 1 terabyte. I'm going to give a pool name called demo here. I can create a regular pool or a thin provision pool. Obviously, you know the features of that. We talked about it. I'll create a pool. Once a pool is created, I can go and say volumes by pool. It will tell me what are the volumes that are created in the pool. I'm going to use this and say add a volume. I'm going to create about 5 wall LUNs of 34 GB and I'll call it demo wall. And actually the size of the volume does not require it's not time it takes. I just created 5 LUNs of 34 GB. I can just after that I have to allocate it to the host. I go to the host screen. I have 2 hosts already created. I just go to this host. There is a worldwide number allocated. If I need to create a new host, I add a host. I give a name to the host called test1. If it's not a cluster, I can say it's not a cluster. Default type is all except the CUX and our mainframe. If it's iSCSI, you need to give these chat name and secret. I just create a host and then I add a port to it. Basically, I'm binding. This is kind of the LUN masking you do in different traditional architectures. If I've zoned the host HBA properly, as the HBA worldwide number is popped up here, I can just pick that up. I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to use an existing host and allocate the LUNs I created. I say modify LUN mapping. If you see these are the 5 LUNs I created, I just go and say allocate. Basically, the process of creating a pool, creating a volume, creating a LUN out of it and assigning a LUN to the host is complete now. You can go to your host, do a scan on the based on the operating system and the LUNs will be available for you to use. So as you've seen, it takes you less than a minute to do this activity, and here you don't need to create drive sets, RAID groups. Like we mentioned in the architecture, none of those is required. Everything uses all the resources, so all that is taken away and the system does it from perspective. Next, I want to kind of quickly demonstrate taking snapshots. For us to take a snapshot is pretty much right click on it and say create a snapshot. Obviously, you may not be sitting in front of this user interface all the time, so you can go to the user interface, the CLI, and script it, and you can go and say create, or I don't know the command, so I can just see what the command should look like. I say snap, it will tell me what are the options. I say snapshot, it will tell me what I can do. I'll say create, it will say what is the next parameter. I'll say volume, it will show me all the volumes. I will choose a volume which we have not chosen now. I'll say 04, and pretty much snapshots are done. So I just run this, and the other way is to go in to the system and script this for you doing your backups and stuff. So now if you see AIX4, this volume has multiple snapshots, and these snapshots are locked by default. You can right click on it and say unlock. It will be unlocked. Now it's writable. You can actually go back, and after you're done with your test, you can once lock it. It will show that it was unlocked and locked. You can take this and say I want to create a snapshot of this because I may use this as writable, so you will get a duplicate snapshot with the same characteristics. So this user interface is pretty user friendly. You can create a host, create a LUN, and all that can be done extremely fast, and you don't need a dedicated system administrator for doing any of these things. I just want to take you through the screen for where you can look at all the events that has happened in the system. It basically will log every event that has happened. Now you can see that I created a snapshot volume. You'll see all the events that are created here. You can sort out your events based on minority, major, warning, and all, and sort it out and filter it. And also, if you look at the top of the screen, these options have changed. You can go and click on it and say, now I want to send a major event to my SMTP or an SMS gateway, send an SMS, email, or to an SNMP host for alerting on the system. You can also export all of this into a CSV and keep it for your records. All of this is kept for more than a month in the system by default. No tuning required from that perspective. So this whole thing, the reporting structure, alerting mechanism is built into the system. It also gives you a detailed statistics. At this point of time, I'm just looking at the IOPS for the box. Currently it is running. I can just go here and refresh at point of time. It will tell me what is the IOP that's being done at this point of time. I can go look at the IOP that is done at here. On the same screen, if I want, I can go and say I want to see the bandwidth and the IOP. It will give you, on the left you will see the IOP and the right the bandwidth. If I want to see multiple screens, I just click on it. I can go here and I can say I want to see reads and writes, and I want to see misses probably. It will give you that detail. You can go here and look at, let me see what, I want to look at volumes. I just can go and say I want to look at this volume, the activity that is happening. You will see the IOPS on that volume. So there's quite a bit of flexibility built into the monitoring tool. And when this is happening, you can actually go in and click on the the zoom, and you can see the amount of data that is over a period of time. All this data can be exported by clicking on the floppy drive there, and it will export into a CSV where you can go and do your trending or analysis. It also can give you a different summary. It's called top. So it will tell you what is the top user of. I'm just going to click on this. User on this box at this point of time, you will see that this is the host we are running the load from, and it will tell you the details of that. So I think it has all the details. I mean, I can go and look at every interface module which is running and see what is the IOPS that interface module is running. I can look at all interfaces. You will see that all the interface modules are running exactly the same amount of load. This is running 4,000. The other one is running 4,800. The 8th module is running 3,300. So it's kind of equally balanced. So you can see all kinds of data. You can see the data from a host perspective, because we can go and say my 38 is where the host is running all the IOPS. So there is TOPS, there is a user interface, there's a command line which we talked about to look at all these things. Obviously, whatever you have on the user interface, you can use the command line and do it. The last one I want to touch up on is the mirroring and that kind of stuff. Any replication, data migration, all of these are built in as well here. You can do mirroring, migration, connectivity, all that can be managed from the system here. Unfortunately, we don't have this box connected to any of the box here, so I won't be able to demonstrate that at this point of time. And this is the place where you look at users. You have an administrator, technician, development and maintenance, which are predominantly for IBM people. You can have an administrator and a application administrator and different kinds of users for that. I think at this point of time I've covered all the features of the box and shown you how easy it is to manage. As I mentioned earlier, if you have more questions or you want to understand more about it, feel free to let us know, and we'll be happy to come back and discuss in detail. Thank you very much for taking time off and basically coming and spending some time with us to go into this event, Go Live with XID.